A stoush is brewing over the lack of activity in Auckland's CBD. Oh, actually, just before we move to that story, we've just got to hand a statement from the Ministry of Health on this matter. They say the Ministry of Health is looking into the Jarman's case, and we will bring you more details as we get them. Now, let's move on to the Auckland CBD. A stoush is brewing over the lack of activity in Auckland's CBD post-lockdown. The City Centres Business Association has attacked Auckland Council, claiming it's not doing enough to get its workers back into the CBD and supporting the local economy. Heart of the City says while the government has urged workers to head back to their city offices, Auckland Council hasn't followed suit. But the new work from home culture isn't the only thing hurting CBD businesses. Reporter Nick Truebridge and cameraman Nick Monro have the story.
It's a central city standoff. Auckland Business Association, Heart of the City, taking a swipe at Auckland Council for not doing all it can to help spur the CBD's post-lockdown resurgence. Chief Executive Viv Beck says over the past couple of months, inner city spending is down $100 million compared to the same period last year. And she says it's vital those in the public sector flood back to their city offices instead of working from home to help the city's cafes and restaurants recover.
We asked both council and the government to ensure that the messaging was there to bring people back.
And the government responded. Here's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern back on June 8 on the government's role in ensuring the country's CBDs thrive post-lockdown.
For our part, we've asked the State Services Commission to issue new workplace guidance to make it clear that every public sector worker should return to their usual place of work, taking into account flexible work policies.
So some action from the government, but Beck says she's still waiting on the same from Auckland Council.
The government certainly did make that point clear. We haven't seen the same approach from Auckland Council, and we're very disappointed in that.
Beck says she's raised the issue of council staff returning to their CBD offices at numerous meetings and in public statements. She also says she's raised the matter with Mayor Phil Goff and former Chief Executive Stephen Town.
We think they should be taking a leadership role on this and ensuring that their ratepayer-funded staff are back supporting the economy, because it will be a much bigger impact if they don't do that.
And despite Heart of the City's concerns, Auckland Council isn't doing everything it can to give the CBD a much-needed boost. There are other reasons people are staying away.
Aucklanders say there's something else keeping them out of the centre city. It's all of this. Plenty of roadworks, and with it, plenty of road cones and plenty of traffic jams. And there's no end in sight anytime soon.
Checkpoint has heard from numerous residents who say they don't bother with the city anymore due to disruptions in the form of these widespread roadworks. Auckland CBD-based property manager Clem Andreeve told us his customers don't want to come into town for meetings or to drop off things like keys. That's because it's simply too difficult due to the constant streetscape changes and the lack of parking.
I have to go somewhere the nearby suburbs just to meet with them in a cafe somewhere there, and not in the cafe in Auckland Central.
Andreeve says he's had 2 recent meetings where his clients have wanted to meet in Kingsland and Mount Eden, taking potential business for central city coffee shops elsewhere. So while Auckland's second lockdown is a thing of the past, the city of Sails has turned into the city of snails as it struggles to regain its usual hustle and bustle. For Checkpoint, Nick Truebridge.
And we have contacted Auckland Council for a response but haven't had a reply as yet.